Oi, oi, alright, how's it going? I'm Grant, you're you, and this is Doodle Review, the channel that reviews albums from across the genre spectrum of music, but with a foundation in rock and guitar-based music. We pretty much review something in the world of rock every other day, so if that is your vibe, subscribe. You almost certainly will hear me talk about a band that you like in an upcoming video and hopefully get turned on to something new as well. Today we're talking about The Kills. The Kills are a rock duo comprising of Florida, USA-born vocalist ALLISON MOSSHART and Hampshire, UK-born guitarist JAIME HINCE. The transatlantic pair formed after meeting on the road with their respective previous bands, MOSSHART in the punk rockers Discount and HINCE in the folk punk band Blythe Power. The year was 2000, and so with online file sharing still in its infancy and dependent only on the highest upon highest grades of dial-up, HINCE and MOSSHART initially wrote demos by sending 4-track tapes back and forth by airmail. Eventually seeing enough potential in their work, MOSSHART would move to London in late 2000, early 2001, writing, recording and rehearsing until the pair debuted The Kills' unique brand of gritty garage blues rock in 2002. Now, just over 20 years later, we have God Games, the 6th album to come out of the project and the first to come after a fairly extended break. Despite a number of odds and ends, singles, spoken word projects and B-side compilations, the duo's last album proper was Ash and Ice, all the way back in 2016. Now, I've been a fan of The Kills since a friend of mine showed me the track Future Starts Slow way back in 2014. That song's angular riff, cloud of melancholy and sultry soul just completely bowled me over. Despite having that song in regular rotation though, God Games is probably the first album I've really sat down with from beginning to end multiple times. And I know that's a bit weird, and if you follow this channel you might hear me say that a lot, like, oh, I've known of this band for a while but this is their first album. But just to clarify, like, the reason that happens is because my weekly rotation of like 5 to 6 new albums is so all encompassing. I rarely get the time to go back into the catalogues of artists as much as I want to, so I often end up having to just basically wait until they release something new so they kind of naturally come up in my rotation. It's a strange system, but I'm so compulsive about listening to new albums and so particular about the way that I do it, I just can't break the habit. Anyway, as soon as I put God Games on, I was immediately reminded of why this group's whole thing appeals to me. The songs are great and I'll come back to them in a minute, but there is just an overall aesthetic, an overall approach and vision that just ticks the boxes of what I think great modern rock and roll should be. It comes down to a combination of 3 things. ALLISON MOSSHART's vocals are strong and powerful without ever being showy. You can tell she has the capacity, maybe not the range, but certainly the power and dexterity to really milk every note for what it's worth and perform some vibrato and vocal show jumping. But she doesn't. It all adds to this steely-eyed, cool, nonchalant but fully committed aura The Kills put out as a whole. MOSSHART also has this unique thing of having that lower register sultry kind of sexy thing, but doesn't in any way exploit or play that up. So you've MOSSHART's voice as the first major ingredient. The second is JAIME HINCE's guitar playing, but it's not what he plays. I wouldn't say the riffs are crazy inventive, but it's specifically how he plays. He plays in just this unique, sloppy, slippery, greasy, kind of angular, I mean, it's perfect. There's so many scratches, so many random notes, occasional off timing. These things are all inherently examples of being imperfect, and in being so perfectly imperfect and playing is just perfect. Hince's approach to the guitar explains the sound. I can't explain with words how rock music should be played. Not to be that guy, but I just think it's about feel, man. The third part that I love is the production. Not production specific to an album, but just how they present themselves as a band. Yes, they are a 2-piece, but they don't make it a thing in the way artists like the Black Keys or even, I don't know, like Royal Blood do. Not to slag them off. Because of that, it works for them. But The Kills write and arrange their songs in a lot of cases with kind of full band compositions. So you have a MOSSHART vocal and a Hince guitar, but you'll also have drums, percussion, synth, maybe even horns or strings. The trick is, rather than presenting like it's The Kills and a bunch of other musicians we don't kind of class as the band, they kind of make all of the other parts sound super DIY. It's more like hip hop production with like kind of rap beats with MOSSHART and HINCE doing their thing over the top. I'm not saying it's revolutionary, but I just like how that comes together. It kind of falls into that weird, edgy Royal Trucks type of territory and steers clear of Black Keys bombast. God Games has some great example of all of those ingredients coming together, even if occasionally it loses the plot or goes into some kind of weird directions. Immediately, the album opens with New York, a really cool riff punctuated by these messy chord stabs from HINCE over the top of a retro sampler beat, complete with fuzzed out horns. This is followed by Going to Heaven, a dark, foreboding track in which MOSSHART flexes a cool falsetto, and in which HINCE tastefully lets the beat and bass do the work before slowly bringing his punky, detuned guitars to the forefront as the song gathers pace and intensity. LA Hex puts the MOSSHART HINCE chemistry center stage with a duet vocal that works perfectly against this backdrop of this mournful, slowed down and reverb baritone guitar-based instrumental. This song is such a vibe and one of my favorites on the album. It culminates with a gospel choir of all things, but it works perfectly. Completing this solid 4-track run, we have Love and Tenderness, a loose dub style track with a stubbornly slow shuffle beat and piercing guitar stabs. It's at the 5th track, 103, where the production starts to feel a little claustrophobic though. I happen to love the tremolo guitar and particularly the chords in the chorus, but you can feel the closeness and the intensity of these first few tracks kind of bearing down on you here. Rightly, the band see fit to change the energy, and in this case, the next track, My Girls, is successful. A change of pace and tone to freshen the pace of the album. It just so happens though that this track is my kind of least enjoyed here. Although the production does everything it can to disguise it, the progression is so much like the twee Jason Mraz radio hit I'm Yours that I just can't get it out of my head. With that being said, as the album moves into its second half from here, there are only very few further missteps. The vocal hook on Blank and the sleepy title track are the only ones that come to mind. Overall, this is a killer record in which the Kills feel like they've come back to their well-crafted but rough sound with renewed enthusiasm and great songs. It's a high 7 out of 10 for me. Cheers for sticking around, listening to me chat fraff about the record. If you're a Kills fan or if you're new to the Kills, let me know what you think. And I assume if you've made it this far into my reviews, you must love it. So don't be coy, don't be cute, stop messing about. Hit the subscribe button. We've got a bunch of other album reviews coming your way, Saturday specials and Sunday Jazz Club every week. Subscribe, show some love, share some thoughts, or just hurl some abuse in the comments, and check out the links to other reviews in the description that you might like. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, mate. Bye.